Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, I am blessed to have Orion Foxwood with me, and we are getting ready to host a workshop. We have a little ancestor theme going on here. Um, Actually, we've got Summer Star, who has studied with Daniel Four, who's doing a four-part series. And then on the tail end of that, um, Orion Foxwood is doing ancestral healing with the river of blood, healing and redeeming ancestral wounds and intergenerational curses. And I wanted to talk to you, Orion, a little bit about how did this come about? What's the background? I know some people look at this title and they get like, "Ooh,"
I know.
and yeah, this is fierce work, but it's approachable.
Oh, yes.
Um, and also, I haven't talked to you in such a long time. It's such like you look great. You look great.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. I
So good to be so you, beautiful man. Thank you for the work you're doing as always.
no, it really this work wakes me up at 4 in the morning, and I get direction. Yeah, this is very like okay, let's go. So Ryan, you wrote about the River of Blood, this work, in a 2008 book called A Tree of Enchantment.
Even before
And
that.
and you wrote about it before then? Where
Even
did it originally come from?
Faery Teachings. Well, thank you for that question. On a literary end, I saw some of it in the Ballad of Tam Lin, and where in the fairy ballad where the queen comes and she takes Tam Lin and she's traveling through the underworld. Now, understand that the underworld is the undercurrent of life. It's also the memory world. It's also the pre-form, the preternatural, the uh, uh, it's where life arises from. So one of the and one of the rhymed versions, so she has him on the back of her milk white steed, and she's going as fast as anything light, and he says, on and on we rode. And we was on and on and on we rode, and then we came to a river of blood, and he says, and we wove through rivers of blood a boon to the knee, and saw neither sun nor moon, but heard the roaring of the sea. And then he spoke later, he speaks of where the ancestors crying out to be healed. So she took him through the ancestral stream itself, where he could hear the haunts of humanity crying out to be healed from the ancestral past. And that whole wading through rivers of blood, that means to wade through the rivers of blood, a boon to the knee. And heard neither sun nor saw neither sun nor moon, but heard the roaring of the sea. He's saying in this place where life is gestational. So she took him past that ancestral stream that gestates us all. Like, we're not done being born. We're still borning, and the Big Bang is still banging. And so, and the light of the heavens is ever arriving, and even from stars that ended a million years ago, you know. And we, in fact, well, I mean, it goes even as far as people don't get this, that all iron, no exception, is only made one way. It's made by the stars. Did you know? Only in the stars. The iron that we have here came through meteorites over millions of years that also formed the center of our world, right? All iron comes from there, including the iron in your blood and my blood right now. So you want to talk about ancestry. When we're looking at the stars at night going, I wonder if I came from there, maybe the same stars going, huh, I wonder if I became him. And so I wrote a little ditty about that once because it blew me away to know that literal, not figurative, in our body right now is also water. 20% of the water in our body is older than the sun. Ice has been around longer than the stars. That's what people don't realize. Water's been around that long. So I wrote this little ditty about the iron. We are stars with human feet, encountering starlight in all we meet. Know this, grow this, and ignite. and the stars will guide you through the darkest night. So everything is extraterrestrial. Everything is ultimately the stars. The Earth is extraterrestrial. It's of stellar origin, and so that's the ultimate ancestry, right? And so where does it all come from with me? Well, it was the One Piece was inspired by that writing, a boon, or wading through rivers of blood, a boon to the knee. But also, I heard about the ancestral stream when I was little, when I was a little boy in Appalachian folk tradition. My mom used to say, God, one day she came in and I was praying. I was down on my little knees. I was a little boy and I'm praying. I was so sincere. And mom just walks in because she was a powerhouse. Whereas my brother says, my brother, mom was a beast. What she means is strong, tough. She was intense. She was very psychic. And I got my veil from her, because I was born with the call. And so was my sister. And so was she. My mom walks in and goes, who are you praying to? And I said, well, God, Mama, he don't hear you. Not a bit. And I went, Mom, I'm like upset. She goes, maybe he don't have to. God left everything in the hands of helpful spirits. She said, nobody gets to life but through a piece of God. You came through mommy and daddy, but mommy and daddy came from their mommies and daddies. You came from their mom and daddies. You came from their mom and daddies. And one day I was sitting out on our balcony in the old apartment, right? It was late at night, the witching hour at 3, which is really the time when the world's breathed and so much can come to you. And so I was thinking about God left everything in the hands of helpful spirits. All of a sudden, oh my God, I looked down at this kitty cat that was walking along the lawn, right? And and I think she was out mousing late at night to take food back to her kitty. She was feral. And she saw me looking and she just stopped. Right? She looked at me and I realized, oh, my gaze is too invasive because to quote Michael Dunning, we have to embrace the eyes that embrace and receive instead of the ones that pierce and eat. And so I just released the concept of you cat, me human. And instead, we're two beings, two states of being. I'm in a human state of being, you're in a cat state of being. That's just the name of a type of beingness when it's in one pattern and another pattern. And so I released that and what I call lifting, drifting, merging, mingling. So I lifted away from my usual definition of myself and of her and took away the word cat, took away the word human, because those are all human names anyway. And then my consciousness flowed to hers and hers to me, and she softened. And she literally projected to me, I have ancestors. I came from somewhere. And I said, me too. And just inwardly it was like, want to share? She said yes. So we shared and then we were done and I lifted and she lifted, she went about her thing, and we both just felt wonderful. And then my eyes drifted to a tree that was out in the lawn, and the same thing happened where I extended my awareness to the tree. I call soul reaching, mind touching. The tree did the same back. We let go of the concept of tree and human completely as just two states of one being, of a singularity from whence we were all born, the universal singularity. And then the tree said the same thing, extended back to me. I have ancestors. I came from somewhere. So just lastly, when we were done, my mind drifted up. I do this practice often. I have to teach everyone how to do this. I call it lifting, drifting, merging, mingling, and it's wonderful. And a soul reaching, mind touching. And I did it with a tree, and then I did it with a cloud going by. A cloud. And when I let go of cloud, and I let go of me, and I let go of the whole thing of, oh, you got to have a nervous system to be conscious. No, you don't. We all know that. And so consciousness is everywhere. We're swimming in it. And this cloud literally, when it allowed me in, and we just touched as beings, two states of being, and it said, I have ancestors. I came from somewhere. Same thing. When I was done, everything I extended to, the stones, everything said that. And so what mom said when she said God left everything in the hands of helpful spirits, nobody gets into form, no one can stay into form, and no one really can make it out of form in a healthy way without assistance. We don't come here alone. This is why we have to come through an ancestral stream so we can even borrow the instructions on how to get into life. And then we've got to eat the earth and eat the ancestors. We're still eat. This is a gross thing. We're eating the ancestors right now. Every meal you got, came from ultimately the plants. Plants feed the meat eater, the meat that you eat. Even the plants draw the knowledge, not just the vitaminos, which is vitamins, which means little life. That's what vitamin means. Vitaminos, little life. Isn't that great? It's the whole instructions on how to stay informed is a mixture of genetic memory and what the earth keeps supplying us until we burn this structure out, and then we migrate to another one, right? And that's all. So we eat each other. We're taking turns eating each other. We feed into the earth. We share molecules. We share minerals and all this stuff. So when we start doing River of Blood, what we're really doing is we're going, stop, Orion, stop, Jan, stop. I, what I call I, is a personification of a river of humanity, which is extended here from the hominids, which came from reptiles, which came from, you know what I mean, and on back to the multicellulars, unicellulars, plants, mycelium, you name it. It's all ancestry, right? On this journey to becoming the humans that we are now. All of that is a part of the velocity that brought you to this now. You wrote on all that, and it's still a part of a stream of memory that you're riding on. Without it, you wouldn't be able to be in life, right? And also, so we are alive because of an intersect of what's above, what's below, what's before us, what's behind us, and what upholds us. Does this make sense? And so, what River of Blood work is tuning into what is flowing through us, the genetic stream that flows through us, human and other, and then how that commingles within us. Are we redeeming it? Are we cursing it? Because sometimes we inherit entanglements and entrenchments, maybe difficulties that were in there, and we continue it. We were not born to continue it. We were born to bring the best of ancestral presence forward, commingled with us now. And we were born at this time when so much is offered to us on how to awaken as a conscious creator. But let me tell you something, every religion, every spiritual practice, all of it is ancestral, every bit of it. Again, I told you what I told that wonderful Christian woman when she said, "No, it's all about God." I said, "No, it's all about the ancestors." She said, "Well, who is God to you?" She says, "The maker, the creator of all things. Everything comes from God." And you could just watch the light bulbs going off. I said, "Uh-huh." She goes, "God is the ancestor." I said, "Well, that's your name for it, yes."
So I've got one question. What do you have, what words of wisdom do you have for the person who was the black sheep who left home or was kicked out of their home very early on, who vowed never to have anything to do with that family? And
Well,
now I'm like, you need to do ancestor work. What words do you have
absolutely,
for them?
absolutely. They may have had either trauma. Well, first thing to understand is if humanity doesn't get a handle on its trauma, we will extinct ourselves. The worst of humanity is because many people live in the shape of their memories and their trauma and not in the shape of their inspirational pulse. And so and so the people who were the black sheeps, it could be because they didn't conform, it could be because they're living their trauma, it could be any number of reasons. And what I say to them is, sweetie, you may have left your social interactions, but they're still in you, and those seen and unseen, or as I say, those known and unknown, named and unnamed, seen and unseen. Whoops. I got going and threw the thing off. Human and other, they're with you whether you want that or not. And trust me, if you broke free from something because it was unhealthy, which many people have, to discover yourself and to create yourself, you can bet the strength to do that did not just come from you. It came from others in your ancestry who may have, and this is especially true for queer folk. You think you're the only queer one? No. Do you think you're the only magical one, no, your strength is not alone. And there are those who walk in grace with you in your ancestral stream, and you may be healing them right now by daring to become yourself, daring to love who you are more than what you've been wrapped up to be.
Thank you. Somebody needed to hear that one.
Yeah.
Another question I have some people who have been looking at this and it feels a bit intimidating for them.
Okay.
What prerequisites, they're feeling like, do I need to have shamanic skills, or like you're going to be unraveling curses? You're like,
Let
ah,
me let me
what,
explain the word curse.
what prerequisites do
Curse,
people
all it
need?
curse,
Yeah. Okay.
tell them
Go ahead.
all they need is the desire to heal, the desire to be a healing presence in the world. Allow themselves to understand that they don't need to know the names of their ancestors. They don't need to know if they were adopted. That's the mind, the brain thinking it needs to know all that. When you've been adopted, you have multiple lineages that are flowing through you. Sometimes you're adopted because that was a life you were in a previous life, that you came back to that lineage because you loved it and it found you and you left things there to unpack to make you stronger and make you better. Just what I would say to folks, the river of blood is not about getting bloody. It's about the river of the plasmatic pulse that you rode here on. No one came into life without drinking the blood of their mothers. I keep saying 8 months by accident because I was preemie. And so I often go 8 months, and they're like, no, 9 months. I'm like, oh shoot, I was a preemie. But we all drank the blood of our moms to get here, even if our mothers were maybe they were abusive, maybe they were bad, but they were still the gateway of life. They something in them that we received and in our fathers that we receive is good, even if it's not directly from them. They may have had other ancestors that were really incredible. But let me tell you, um, if you picked your blood for good reason, because you knew that there were things in that blood that you needed, not just lessons. It's not that simple. There were gifts, propensities that you needed. Like my mom, I love you, mama, but she could be horrifically abusive, but it was because she was also the only girl with, was it 5 brothers, Appalachian, running a farm. She was tough as nails, and she went through, it was rough. So she had to be tougher than them, and she was. My aunt used to say, your mama's stronger than any 5 men, and I believe it, believe me. But also, as I've grown, I realized some of my determinedness, my strength, and all, it came from that woman who made me not even, she would love me when I was hurt. And then she'd say, okay, enough with the being hurt. Get up, get strong. Don't forget who you are. And mom was a powerhouse. So what I know is there are those who walk in grace also with us, meaning unseen ancestral presences. We will probably never know their name. They usually don't want us to know their name. The reason is because for them, it's not about them, it's about us. And they see us working out something they couldn't, or maybe completing something they couldn't. And all they want to do is help us. So many a times when we were going home, and we usually always go right, and something said, do not go right, don't go right, go left, and we just went ahead. That wasn't angels of a distant, that was our ancestors. And a lot of times it's not the ones. I mean, there's those that I know. My mom walks with me, my sister walks with me, but then I also know there's ancestors that go back thousands of years whose names I don't know. Some of them have given me like a way to understand symbols. Some of them have given me a way to, because some of their languages I don't know, but they could flow with their thought to me. So we are the product of millions of years, and we all come from the first peoples. That's the thing. There's nobody that doesn't come from first peoples. You just got to go back far enough. If they're alive, then They go all the way back. Just follow it, follow it, follow it. Whether that's Native American, Native African, Native Asian, to what Indo-European, wherever. So we've also got knowledges that sit in our blood waiting to be given. But in between us and the different points where this is, there's also ancestors caught in the muck and myrrh of memory. This
Okay,
wonderful guy.
I'm about. It's just embarrassing. I'm about to. You continue. I need to plug my battery in.
Okay, just keep
Keep
talking,
talking.
or
Keep
well,
talking.
and we have to understand that sometimes patterns that we've been trying to break, propensities we've been trying to break, is because those entanglements are in us. And all we have to do, all the river of blood says, is go to the stream, let the stream calibrate where you go to on the stream, and then the ancestors where the headwaters of harm are that are caught in the memory that now is causing a damming of the waters of the stream. We're all born to undam the river in both meanings of the word, really. And in many ways, what I call curses, and I meant that word because a curse is often it seems like a wicked entanglement. But what people don't know about curses are there are curses that people can lay. There's curses that events lay. There are curses that we lay upon ourselves, where we damn a certain quality of us, or we tie a knot in certain areas. We say, I cannot do this, or I cannot do that. Um, uh, and so, until we go in, and if we keep running up against that limit, that we go, why is it I can never get past this area where mom spoke of this, dad spoke of this, I saw this in some of my, is because they're stuck. And someone before them's probably stuck. And once you just simply let the compassion draw you in, so that what flows through you is the highest nature, is from the bank of song instead of the bank of sorrow along that ancestral stream. Then what happens is when we're called by compassion, said, you know what, I don't want to see cancer continue in my line. I don't want to see domestic violence. I don't want to see homophobia. I don't want to see the fear to let the dreams out, like so many women have had to just shelve their dreams, as we know in the patriarchal culture. So many, and we could go on, and there's good men that, and so we just go in out of compassion for our lineage and those that come from us, so we don't have to have children. Remember that when you change the blood, it changes it backwards, sideways, forward, all of it, right? Like the queer community was born to show people other facets of love, of gender, and fluidity, right? And so the river of blood also helps us to disembark in those areas where ancestors are stuck in that murk and mire. One thing I know, you don't need to know much of anything. Just know that you are more powerful than you can imagine. Know that you chose to be here at a time when we are co-creating a new earth, a new destiny, right? We are at the place of the great, if you want to call it the new age, the age of Aquarius, but we have to unhaunt the house of humanity so that the best of us can begin to move forward, and then the earth will calibrate with us, right? I think it's lovely that the Fairy Congress has been doing ancestor work all along. What do you think the work is with nature, spirit, and the Davic realms? The pre-human ancestral contacts, right? That our ancestors knew. They knew that that was crucial, that that was important, right? So think of the great stream of the river of blood as the undercurrent that carries us all, right? It's the
Okay.
undercurrent.
Yeah.
And man, I have seen literally, can I tell you one story that just blows my mind?
Yes,
This,
please.
so I was taking this group, I was out in LA or Orange County, California. I was taking a group to the River of Blood. And one of the women that was there, who I know, this wonderful, wonderful woman, she's got, her and her husband have two kids who I adore. They're wonderful. And so she said, I went to the river of blood, and there was this child that my hand, because you reach out unconditionally through the fog on the river, because I take them out on the crystal, what's called the glass boat of destiny, right? And the glass boat of destiny, where they feel they just wherever their hand goes, they pull that ancestor up onto the boat, and then they have the golden comb of resolution, which you comb them down and detangle and disentrench them, and they start to be more than the last memory they remember. See, people, souls can be caught, pieces of our soul can be caught in the memory. You don't even know you may be pulling you out, right? Because people have had that experience where they were combing the person, all of a sudden saw their own face. And I said, that's because that person and you are so intertwined. And now you're going to see. So anyway, so she did. She took care of this child. She cleaned them off. She watched them go from black and white to radiant color. And the boat began to move. Now they were moving over to the stream of saints on the bank of song, from sorrow to song, right? And so they, and these beings, these are the redeemed ancestors. They run down to welcome us. So the little girl got out, and she said, and I brought them all back. And this wonderful woman, she won't mind me mentioning her name, Havila. Oh, love Havila. Havila was crying. She said, Ryan, that was the most incredible thing I've ever experienced in my life. So wait till you hear this. So she gets home. Now, neither one of her kids, they knew that she was going to a workshop and they were going to be with me, but they didn't know what she was going to be doing. So she's sitting there talking to her little girl, Azali, and she says, Mommy, I remember you a long time ago. I was stuck out in these strange waters. I couldn't see where I was. I couldn't remember who I was. And Mommy, you came out and got me and washed me clean. And you took me
Yeah.
to the
Okay.
and, and you took me to the angels. That's the redeemed ancestors. And she said, Mommy, and I'm back here now because you loved me. You loved me when I was already beyond your sight. Like, it's just chills, chills. And Havila is like listening, going, oh my effing God. She goes, I got to call Orion. And uh, I said, I've had these things happen before. I mean, I had a woman who she caught, brought someone out from like the 18 or 1700s. And this woman that she brought out said, well, my name is such and such. And my friend Ceres, who brought the person, out of the murk or the off the bank, the murky waters on the river, was thinking, okay, well, she just calmed her, and she got clear and took her to the bank of song, and of course the ancestral beings, this redeemed ancestors, which seem like saints. They're incredible. I call them the stream of saints. Came down and got her, and we came out. She said, Ryan, it was an incredible experience. She said, I don't know who the ancestor was. I mean, they gave me a name, but I don't recognize it at all. She got home, and there was a message on her machine from one of her, from I think like a cousin or someone in her family that's been doing their whole tree and going back to ancestor.com and all this. And she said, seriously, you're not going to believe it. I just found this woman who none of us even realized she was in there. And Sirius goes, oh, that's cool. What's her name? I'll write it down so I can put it on my tree so we can get it all. And she gave it to her. And Sirius says, she dropped the phone. She said, I dropped the phone. And she said, can I call you back a little bit? I got to call my friend Orion. She calls me up. She goes, Orion, all right, listen, this shit's real. I said, yeah, it is. It's very real. She said, I have such a good feeling flowing through me. And I said, and watch what's going to happen. Now you got the confirmation, but you're going to watch some problems that you saw in your family and were like, will this ever end? And all of a sudden, you're going to see it and you're going to watch something beautiful happen. And she said that. She said, we have a multi-generational estrangement that keeps happening, no matter how much love, no matter. I says, because it's not always just about the love and being a good parent. It can be about
Yes.
something in you don't even know about.
It's
And so what?
it's being handed down and handed
Yeah,
down and handed down. And so a lot of
and
the
remember,
issues that we're dealing with have been handed. They didn't start with us. It didn't start with us.
No,
Let's go back
nothing
to where
does.
it started.
And so if we get more people doing this, you got to remember when the river calibrates to take you to the headwaters of harm, which is often some little thing, it may not even be harm. The other thing is some beautiful thing happened, and maybe until that's known, they can't move forward. Like that little girl, it was obvious that Havla, all of her mom needed to have this experience because what it did is it changed both of their lives. So incredible. They were like, love is greater than the grave. I said, oh yeah, oh way. And so expect wonderful things. And it can be so subtle that you go and you do it and you go, oh, that feels nice. That was a nice meditation. So maybe that wasn't a meditation. This is an encounter practice. It's not. I said, I'm leading you through a series of outer forms, symbols, if you want to say, and such that act like tumblers in a lock. And a lock that
You'll be leading us in a you'll be leading us in this
the river. Yep.
in this meditation.
You won't have to remember anything and to adjust. Follow me. I'll lead you. It'll flow so easy. You'll be like, what?
Right. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And then get ready to experience how important you are, why you were born. And see, the thing is, when you change some intersection in your own river, which you don't know is over those generations, because sometimes you go back to an ancestor 1,000, 2,000 years ago. We don't pick it. We just go with compassion and concern. That's all. And we go and let the river show us, let the boat show us, and be willing to just compassionately clean. It's kind of like Ho'oponopono that way, which I love Ho'oponopono. I think it's brilliant. If you understand what is happening, each of us can heal all of us. And there's a certain point where we all intersect. So when you do that, it's not just your family, honey. It's everything they've touched over all those generations and the ones in the middle. It's like a Prel commercial. You remember they told two friends and they told two friends. So this is quantum
Orion,
healing.
yeah, Orion, this is beautiful. You've inspired me, and hopefully a lot of people who see this. So I'm going to put all the contact information, the details. So we have one workshop coming up on, when is it? September 19th. That's from 10 to noon, and I'm going to try to put some kind of link so you can get on a mailing list, so we can get your email, so you can stay in contact with us.
And I got more things I'll send you and uh and I'm liable to send things to send out to the people who come because I like to send extra treats and stuff, because the goal of this is to have everyone changed. And the thing is, the more times you do it with the guidance, the more the language of it becomes just innate because it's not hard. You'll
Yeah,
get it. Everyone
yeah.
will get it. They'll get it. And it'll be an honor
Everyone
to
will
serve
get
them.
it.
Yep, they'll get
That's
it.
good.
I have led 500 people at a time to the river.
Wow.
500. I've done a river of blood once it extended over 7 countries. I want to take this to some of the reservations if they'll allow me, because I want to help heal the things that they've encountered, at the hands of others, I'm making some inroads. Well, I'm part Native, also I'm part Lakota, so I, we each of us can heal all of us, and we are all children of one mother, sister and brother, human and other. So we go there to heal for the stream we rode here on, and by doing so, we heal the whole ocean. The whole ocean of beings. So I'm excited about this. And
Yeah,
then
let's
during the
do it. Let's do this once a month, or on a
okay,
regular basis. Yeah.
you, you got it, brother man. You got it. You got
You
it.
got
But
it.
can
Ryan,
I say
thank you.
one more thing? My mama said. My mama was amazing. We walked. It was a big meeting at the community center. We had this little community center. I lived in a little place called Round Hill. Population, not many people live there, and so we're there. And mom is sensing that the problem we're having in the community, we're talking about the problem, but we're not getting down to the cause. And my mama just said, listen, there's ghosts in the room and I can feel them. And nobody heals until the ghosts speak, meaning the unseen influences that are there that might even be in the memory of others. So she got people to sit more quietly and speak to each other about where this malady we were seeing really might have arrived from. Isn't that powerful? And so she said, no one heals until the ghost speaks. She was right. And we're all in the hands of helpful spirits. If people understand us, you're not on this great stream alone. And there's so much waiting to help you, and also waiting to watch all of you arrive. Yep. You are the hope of the humanity made manifest, whether you know it or not. You are. Everyone is.
Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
I can't wait to do this work with you all. So.
All right.